I hope everybody had a good break and is ready to start part 2, where you'll get to meet your learning community mentors and your one-on-one mentors. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to take just a minute to go over some things that our fellows saw earlier this morning, but we have our 3 learning community mentors with us now. So just as a reminder, I'm Kathy Grunling from Emory, and Lillian Eby is the director of the program. She's at UGA. And our program support is Katie Davis and Lauren James, who Lauren you've heard from multiple times already. So the goals of the program are looking to develop technical skills for working in a multidisciplinary team science environment, relational and interpersonal skills, and also networks to improve collaboration. So in this latter one especially, we're going to be thinking about the learning communities in the context of developing networks, but also in the context of the first 2 aims as well. So all of you know that the program has 3 parts. There's the learning community mentor, the one-on-one mentoring program, and the training and resources. And we're going to focus for the next hour or so on the learning communities. So we have 3 learning community mentors. I'll introduce them to you virtually. First, we have Celeste Condit from the University of Georgia, Mike Hart from Emory University, and Shelley Hooks from the University of Georgia. And I want to welcome all of you and thank you for taking part in our program. So you may be wondering how the learning communities were put together. When we put these communities together, we considered your science, your career stage, and the learning objectives that you indicated in your application. Each learning community has a mentor, as we just mentioned, but much of the learning that takes place in these communities will be peer-to-peer. So you'll be helping each other with skill building and relationship building. We expect that these learning communities will meet virtually about once a month, probably for about 2 hours to allow time to cover the topics that you want to cover. Please take advantage of content experts for specific topics. So our content experts have agreed to provide expertise on particular topics or skills. They have indicated willingness to attend at least 1 virtual meeting for each learning community, so 3 total. We have a database of content experts, and each of the mentors will have access to that database. The link is in the team's resources email that Lauren James sent to you last week. We will help coordinate the content experts, and that's just to make sure that we're not overusing them. And Lauren James will handle that. It may be that you or your mentors know of someone else who's not a content expert, but can speak on a particular topic that you like, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to use the content experts. You can use anyone who will fulfill the need that your learning community has identified. So as I said, we expect our learning communities to meet once a month for 2 hours, can be virtually or in person, is what we said last year. Now it will have to be virtually for a while. Be prepared to help each other with support, advice, and feedback. One of the things I tell my junior faculty course is WIPI equals logo, which means what you put in is what is equal to what you will get out. Each learning community mentor has access to a planning guide to request any content experts. And as I mentioned, Lauren will coordinate that. And you, in your learning community, will be responsible for setting the agenda. So it might include presentations by content experts. It could be just a discussion of a particular issue that all of you have. It could be looking at online videos, or could you just be advice from your learning community mentor? It's entirely up to you. If you have any questions or problems, I will be handling the learning communities. Lillian will be handling the one-on-one mentoring. Lauren provides administrative support. If you need help scheduling a Zoom video conference or a conference call line, or eventually, I hope, room reservations, we can help you with that as well. So before we move into the brainstorming session, I want to pause and ask if there are any questions or concerns. Okay, no questions, we'll move on then. We're going to give you a half an hour to have the first real meeting with your learning community. So for the mentors, the learning community has met twice this morning in some small breakouts, but they'll be able to introduce themselves to the learning community mentor. We ask you to create a fun name for your learning community. It can be something silly, it can be something fun, but something that expresses the personality of your learning community as you wish it to become. What we do want you to do is think about the topics you would like to discuss in the learning community. There's a planning form to help you with this. Lauren will also put the link to that learning community. It's a Google form in the chat box so that you can access it during your next 30 minutes. You can pop back into the main room if you have questions using that breakout button at the bottom of the screen. And then make sure that you appoint one of your members to share your team name and at least 2 topics that you've chosen for discussion over the year when we come back together. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the breakout rooms, Lauren.